Good morning and welcome to Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. I'm Sean Tonight. Sheriff, we are heading into the summer season pretty soon here when people are in vacation mode. They're leaving their homes unattended.
Oh my goodness, that is the time of year that we regret most. We like the fact that we've got summer coming and all that and vacations taking place, but at the same time, it impacts our crime rate. And one of the things I talk about all the time is we can drive our crime rate down if we just work together as citizens in our communities. Most of our crimes are crime that deal with property. Right. People are breaking into cars, breaking into homes, stealing stuff off porches, those kind of things. And that's something we as citizens, we can do something about that. We can engage in trying to make sure we fortify ourselves. And that's why I'm so happy that we've got an expert here today that's going to talk about our crime issues and property crimes and how we can all work together. I can't say this enough, Shonda. I know I talk about it. I'm always talking about being all in. And this is one of those times where if we're all in, working together, understanding the dynamics of crime and the availability of crime, if we can prevent the availability, we can prevent the crime. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How can we make sure that we keep ourselves safe, keep our families safe, at the same time drive down crime in our community.
Right. And we talk about those preventable crimes. Our expert, our LCSO expert who's coming on today is going to talk about some simple things you can do. This isn't something very complicated, but it makes a huge difference.
No, that's the point. It's really simple. All of us just paying attention to our surroundings, making sure we have relationships in our community. I talk about this all the time. When we were attacked many years ago, by Al-Qaeda, what they said was, in America you can go there and you can live among those folks without ever being recognized because we're all, basically in silos. And that's something we're going to talk about. We can prevent crime in our community just by working together and building those crime prevention programs.
This is definitely one of those shows to tune into for sure. So be sure to stick around. Coming up after the break, from car break-ins to home burglaries, we've got some simple steps that will make a huge difference coming up next.
Good morning, I'm Deputy Davis Clark with Leon County Sheriff's Office School Resource Unit, here with your Safety Tip Tuesday.
It's prom season. Follow these safety tips to have a night filled with fun, all while staying safe. Make sure your phone is fully charged before leaving and keep it with you. Never leave your drink unattended or take a new beverage from someone you don't know. If your glass is ever left alone, just get a new one. It is illegal for people under the age of 21 to consume alcohol, and it is illegal to drink and drive. Stick with your friends. Don't wander off alone, and don't let friends wander off either. Following these safety tips can help you have a safe and fun night.
And that's your safety tip. Have a great day.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer.
I'm a barber.
A waitress.
A mom.
We're all part of your community.
Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good,
Others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty.
Something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Welcome back. property crimes can happen in any neighborhood at any time. And often we can do something about it if we work together. So I have with me today Sergeant Dave Teems of our Property Crimes Unit. Dave, talk to us about your career, first of all, and then talk about our crime issues.
Sure. So I just started year 23 with the Sheriff's Office, and through that time I've been a detective, several different units. I'm your PIO for a little bit, sergeant back on the road, and now I'm the property crime sergeant leading a great group of men and women that are helping combat this issue.
Well, talk about these issues we've got. I talked before the show started, when we started the show, to talk about property crimes and how we can all work together. Talk about how we can prevent those crimes in our community. Sure.
So the biggest things that we see are a lot of thefts, whether it be from stores or whether it be just from people's homes. We work a little bit with the Property Crimes Task Force, the multi-jurisdictional task force that we have for auto crimes, but a lot of package thefts, a lot of things where things are just kind of left out in the open, people leave things out and about. And little things that we can do is just kind of hiding them, finding ways to put those somewhere else, whether it be at a different entrance of your home, or even just having somebody of your neighbors come by and maybe even help you out with, getting picked up and putting them inside. Are there any, you always think about maybe the South Side's got more crime and more of these break-ins, but is there any place in our community that's more vulnerable than in other places? We really see it everywhere. I don't think that crime is really perspective, in this case anyway, of anywhere else. People go everywhere else to do it, whether it be their next door neighbor's house to look for stuff sometimes, or if they go all the way across town. I think they're just going to try and find the best place they can. They may hit a neighborhood for a couple of days, and then once they start seeing more deputy sheriffs riding around, they go to another neighborhood for a couple of days. So there really isn't any specific place. It can hit anywhere in the county. Yeah, Sergeant Teems, one of the things I'm concerned about, obviously, is all crime, but when we're getting close to the summertime, and people going on vacations, they're taking trips, they're playing outside, the kids are playing, doors are left open. Talk to us about what can we do in our community to make sure that when we're away from our homes, that we're doing everything to keep ourselves safe. Well, when the weather gets nicer, we got to be outside. That's why we live in Florida, right? Right. So a lot of it has to do with just not having stuff in plain view. If you have someone that's walking up to your house that wants to see kind of what's going on, if they're up there offering odd things, we have in some of the winter months when people come up and ask to cut your yard. That's an odd time to be asking to cut your yard. You should probably call somebody and say, hey, we've got this going on. In this case, if you see people walking around the neighborhood that you haven't seen in other parts of it, they might be new, they may not be new. Even just engaging them in conversation, if you see them walk by, hey, how are you today? Is everything going all right? Gauging that response. But trying to just keep everything that you have that's valuable someplace that's out of sight. If you buy a new TV because you found a great sale, let's break that box up and throw it in the trash, put it in the recycle, so that way it's not sitting out by the curb and everyone knows you got a new TV. Yeah, I talk a lot about neighborhood crime programs where citizens have, does that work? Is that helpful to us in law enforcement? The more eyes we can have on what's going on in a particular area, the better it is. Obviously there's only so many deputies that are working during the day, and they do everything they can to try and keep this from happening, but they just can't be everywhere at once. So we're always going to ask everybody, if you're in your neighborhood, if you're out and about and you see something suspicious, if you see something that's out of place, let us know. We would much rather find out on the back end, hey, this is someone that just moved in the neighborhood, hey, it's very nice to meet you. Get around and meet your neighbors a little bit, other than finding out later on that person broke into one of their neighbors' houses and they just felt embarrassed about giving us a call. Yeah, I talked in a few episodes before, I talked about car bingo. Is that still taking place in our community? Oh, it does, absolutely. The car shopping, the car bingo, a lot of it though has to do more with what's being left in plain sight. When we do our 9 o'clock routine, making sure that those things, even spare change that you leave in the cup holder, those are things that, to a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid who's kind of driving that part of the crime, they're going to take $2 and change because they can do something with it. And then once they get into your car, anything that's not in sight, they're going to find. It only takes 30 to 40 seconds, if that, once they get into the car, check the glove box, check the console, under the seats, and they're on to the next vehicle. Now, is there one quick piece of advice you'd give anybody out there in terms of going on vacation? So there's a couple of things. The quickest part of it, though, is just get to know your neighbors. They're going to be the ones that are around your house the most often when you're gone. They're going to be the ones that kind of are familiar with the neighborhood, who's supposed to be coming and going from your house, if anybody at all. Let them know what's going on. And you can always call the sheriff's office and have an extra patrol set up for your house as well if you don't have an alarm or things like that, to have somebody kind of drive by the house and make sure there's nothing out of place a couple of times a day.
Well, thanks, Dave. Coming up, are you making it easy for thieves? Sergeant Teems breaks down common household mistakes that we all make, but he also has some fixes. Stay tuned.
A 19-second conversation with a stranger online can put your child in danger of being exploited or abused.
Talking to kids about online safety can protect us for a lifetime. Don't wait. Talk to us today.
Well, Manny, it looks like it's going to be a close game today.
Absolutely, Danny. And with Smith on the bench, it's going to be interesting.
Man, you really gonna wear that jersey in this house?
Agreed. And look at Marcus. He's looking good today, coming in hot with the veggies. Let's take a look.
Antioxidants, vitamins A and C, and fiber. But, oof, Curtis. There's a lot of wings there, man. Are there any veggies on that plate? Let's take a closer look.
High protein, low fiber, high salt.
Flag on the play.
Oh, but look, Kyle's plate still is empty.
Let's see what he's gonna do.
Now, Manny, he does know that the carrots are the healthier choice.
Oh, what a reversal! Look at that play.
A more balanced plate. Small changes equal big benefits for your heart.
A healthy diet is a win.
Another teenager, victim to fake pills. That smells like big crime that needs to be stopped. Before buying pills online, think about this. Should buying prescription pills be this easy? Did you know that fake prescription pills may contain fentanyl, and an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal? Before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org and go for real.
Welcome back. Leon County Sheriff's Office Property Crime Unit Sergeant Dave Teems has more helpful hints about how we can stop crime in our communities. Dave, talk to us about what are 3 things that our citizens can do to make sure they fortify themselves against crime?
Okay, so the most important thing is pay attention. When you're out and about, you see things going on, whether it's in your neighborhood or whether it just be out and around in the community itself, pay attention to what's going on. You're going to notice something. That pit in your stomach is going to tell you if there's something out of place, and definitely pay attention to it and let us know if there's something that we need to know about. For your home itself, obviously any kind of home security system, if you can afford something really elaborate, that's great, but there are some great value items that you can get that really help out with that part of it. And you know, getting to know your neighbors. Yeah, we talk about that all the time. You know, I think that's one of the things that we've lost overall is getting to be a neighborhood instead of just being a house in a neighborhood. And I think those are the 3 most important things we can do.
Yeah. You know, I've often gone out with old Jimmy Goodman, and one of the things he talks about is lighting. How important is lighting around the home, particularly in terms of trying to prevent crimes?
Well, not only just lighting, but also landscaping.
Okay.
So lighting's important because if you've got a camera someplace and it looks great during the day, you get that great HD video, but not all crimes take place when the sun's out and things are looking great. So one, having something well lit where your camera's gonna be, whether it be a motion light that turns on when they see something, or even just a light that stays on all the time. One of the things that we see all the time is people have these great cameras, but then they point them directly into where the sunlight is during parts of the day. So someone will walk up, and you know how it is, you know, we're in a television studio. If you put a light directly behind us, directly into the camera, it's gonna cause problems, it's gonna look really bad. We can't always put TV studio lighting in our homes, but trying to make sure we're doing those types of things are important. And landscaping. When you put a camera up, bushes and trees grow. They're going to move out of the way. It may take a couple of years for them to get there, but just make sure you don't have anything that's growing and starting to block where those cameras are.
Yeah, that is great advice. I'll take that up. I've got some problems at home myself I'll try to deal with. But talk about I talked about cars a moment ago, vehicles. What are some of the other mistakes that our citizens out there are making in terms of making sure their cars aren't the target?
So the biggest thing has to be that they just leave something out. They leave something, whether it be a book bag, even if for them, if there's nothing of value in the bag itself, the person walking up doesn't know that. You know, my grandmother lived in Miami, and we would go by and her windows would be down and her doors would be unlocked all the time when we got onto her about it. She said, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. They can open it, look in. I'd rather not replace a window. I wouldn't go that far with it, but just don't leave anything sitting around. If they're going to walk by and they don't see anything, they're going to likely move on to someone else that has, or at least try to find someone that has.
You know, I often try to make sure that we talk that same message to our commercial folks out there about cameras. And we try to get those cameras where they get the feed back to the Leon County Sheriff's Office and our real-time crime center. Are you seeing that having any impact in our community in terms of burglaries of homes and to businesses?
Absolutely. So the two things that we use the most of is the cameras. When we get camera footage, especially when it's really good camera footage, whether it be from one of the box stores or even from somebody's home, and then our social media. You know, we turn around and take those pictures, we put them on social media, because you see all the comments and people like to have fun with them back and forth, but we always get messages on the side. Hey, this is who this person is, you might want to look in that direction. And it gives us a place we can go, where before, you know, even with a picture sometimes, we didn't have a way to get it to the masses, other than maybe a television at 6 o'clock at night. Now we can get it there 24/7, and it helps us out tremendously.
Now, I got to keep pushing on this issue of neighborhood. What other things can our citizens do in terms of neighborhoods coming together? You mentioned that yourself. I know it's important, but how can we facilitate that process?
So you mentioned Jimmy Goodman, and while he's not over the program anymore, he kind of restarted our Neighborhood Crime Watch. There's signs that can go up, there's things that you can get together with, you can organize with the people that live around you to make sure that you're kind of utilizing your resources the best. Hey, what retirees do we have that kind of walk around the neighborhood that they can get us out? Even some of the neighborhood apps, you know, you see that all the time. There's a few that we use or that we partner with, that they can give us information. You can post on there in real time and let us know what's going on, and even post those pictures so if later on down the road we can get it. But it's very, very important that we talk with our neighbors and at least let them know what's going on.
In about 30 seconds, what kind of programs out there do we have to educate our community on these preventative steps?
So the greatest thing is in-house for us. Our Community and Media Relations program, our department, can help you come in, do a security survey either for your business or even for your home, kind of let you know if your cameras are in the right place, if your bushes need to be cut back, even some defensive landscaping that you can put up to kind of help yourself out in case something happens. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing, is just let us know. Let us know how we can help. That's what we're here for after all, right?
Absolutely. Dave, thanks. Up next in our Deputy on Duty, they're serving time but also turning the page. Meet inmates earning certificates behind the bars and building a better future. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, it's gonna be just plain hot out there.
In 70-degree weather, it takes only minutes for the inside of your car to heat up like an oven. At 104 degrees, heat stroke begins, followed by loss of consciousness. Every year, almost 40 children die of heat stroke after being forgotten in a vehicle. A simple change in daily routine is often the cause. Look before you lock. Brought to you by Kids in Cars.
An email from the post office? How do they even know my email address?
They don't. This is a bogus email sent by scammers that looks like it is coming from the Postal Service, or even the Postmaster General himself. The email contains fraudulent information about an attempted or intercepted package delivery and provides a link to click on to find out when delivery is expected. But that click can activate a virus, which can steal personal information such as usernames, passwords, or financial account numbers stored on the computer or mobile devices. Here are some telltale signs that an email is bogus. It contains poor grammar or spelling errors. It states that immediate action must be taken or there'll be dire consequences. It requests personal information under the guise of reconfirming information. The Postal Service does not notify customers about package delivery attempts by email. If you receive such a message, don't open it. Instead, forward it to spam@uspis.gov and then delete the email.
At the Florida Sheriff's Association, we are able to serve our sheriffs and Floridians thanks to our member support. The FSA Member Perks program was created to give back to our members for all that they do. Members enjoy savings on restaurants, vacations, golf courses, car rentals, healthcare, movie tickets, theme parks, online shopping, and more. With over 300,000 offers, you'll always find ways to save. To learn more or to join the Florida Sheriff's Association, visit fsamemberperks.org.
On this episode of Deputy on Duty, a second chance is being unlocked in the Leon County Detention Facility's incentivized OPOD.
We're standing here in the OPOD at the detention facility, and we're
This is called the Incentivized Living Unit. And so what we've created is essentially what we call a therapeutic community, where a group of men have come together for a common purpose. And that common purpose is to engage in some very specific programming unique to this group and unique to this pod.
After 10 hours of virtual reality career training and the moral recognition therapy, the incarcerated individuals were able to graduate from each training.
So the virtual reality training that the individuals completed in here is a minimum of 10 hours, and those are 30-minute sessions wearing a set of virtual reality goggles, these that I'm holding right here. Each one of these goggles has access to over 200 career fields. It's intended for career exploration, but if somebody wants to dig deeper, then each career field has a multitude of courses and classes that are available that dig deeper.
This is not just an opportunity to learn. This experience allows incarcerated individuals to envision what their lives could look like once they are released.
Man, this program is such an ideal program for people that have lost their way, people that are trying to find their way. You have substance abuse in the program. You have MRT. MRT helps you to think differently, helps you to think more positive. It brings out the best in you. I can't say that.
While the program establishes a solid foundation, the support from the community is essential in ensuring that the transformation endures beyond those concrete walls.
Literally, the second half of this whole idea of this incentivized pod is that these folks, once they graduate, they're not done. They've now got an entire army of community-based providers and reentry professionals in our facility as well as in our community who are now going to come around them to help them with everything from housing to transportation, employment, and whatnot. And so the idea is to provide some training inside and then hand them off to the community on the outside.
This class was unlike anything the graduates could have ever imagined.
Once we started getting into the meat of the program, getting into the MRT sessions and the virtual reality, then I started seeing, hey, I can make a difference in my life. Hey man, I can do things that I thought I could not do.
The skills and knowledge acquired from these trainings enables these graduates to apply them effectively in real-world situations.
Well, I'm going to use my certificate to present to jobs, to put on my resume, just to show that I have skills in certain areas.
When an individual graduates from this program, we're even seeing it after the very first group. The guys that have finished the MRT program, their countenance has changed, their character has changed, their behavior has changed, their attitudes have changed. And it's exactly what we were hoping would come out of that.
This group started their certification trainings at the end of 2024 and graduated in early April. The results are promising for a bright future ahead.
And so this is a very unique opportunity to do something a little bit different in a county jail setting or a detention facility setting. Something like this is typically, is widespread in a state prison, even some federal prisons where they have people for a much longer period of time. We typically don't have people for long periods of time, but while we have them, we want to make as much of an impact in their lives as we can.
If you are ready to make a difference in your community, visit our website at leoncountyso.com and apply for a job today. For Leon County Today, I'm Giovanni Hampton.
Download the Leon County Sheriff's Office mobile app right now. Our mobile app makes it easier than ever to report a crime and get important safety alerts. And follow reported crimes in your neighborhood, all in one convenient location in the palm of your hands. Download LCSO Connect right now. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play by searching LCSO Connect. You can more details about the features of the app on our website, leoncountyso.com.
Welcome back to Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. And Sheriff, the technology that's now available at the fingertips is really doing a lot of help when it comes to helping people choose careers, even those behind bars.
Yeah, I'm excited about the goggles that they're wearing now that, as you described just a moment ago, in terms of being something they can put on and it puts them in that environment, whether it's driving a truck or doing plumbing, what have you. The idea is to, as we talk about this, our reentry efforts of trying to make sure people come into our facility. We've got to find ways of getting them back in the community better than when they came to us.
Right.
And this is another way of trying to accomplish that goal. But we need assistance, though, from our communities as well. We need to make sure that we've got all those providers out there, those businesses out there that are willing to step in and assist us with folks who are formerly incarcerated coming back in our community. We're doing as much as we can, but there's a great deal that has to be done with our community.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it, but we got a lot to do.
Yeah, I've heard some testimonials from some employers who say, these are some of their best workers in many cases.
And that's the point. You stereotype those folks who've been in prison or been in our detention facility, but they're human beings as well, and some have overcome those obstacles that were placed in their lives, and now would perhaps become one of the best workers you can possibly have. So hopefully somebody will see this show and take us up on it.
All right, and we've been talking about those property crimes, and 9 p.m. every night we say lock it or lose it. I think people are listening out there.
I hope so.
Some great reminders today as we head into vacation season.
Yeah, Sergeant Teems did a great job of explaining exactly what we do and what the citizens can do. And again, it's not just about the Leon County Sheriff's Office or our law enforcement. It's about all of us working together.
That's what it's all about, all in.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you here next week.